recording the podcast! Shut up!
Good morning to you, wherever you are, because it is
Morning somewhere!
for June 17th, 2026. My name is Bernie Burns. Sitting right over there, she's running it back. It's Ashley Burns. Head, Ashley, everybody.
Okay, question.
Yes.
Is that a soccer term?
I use running it back. No.
I don't know. That sounds like a very sports thing, but I'm not sure which of the sports.
Man, I'll be honest with you. I never even associated with sports. But if you said running it back as a sports term, I would think that would be like a NBA fast break.
Okay.
Right? That's I don't know. I don't know where the term running it back comes from.
What? I'm going to Google this.
But I reused the drop from yesterday because we didn't get to the topic on which the drop was based. Yesterday, we were supposed to talk about some Halo stuff. And of course, for our audience who has been with us for a very long time, Halo is near and dear to their hearts. So we have to talk about Halo today.
Yes. So specifically, they released the list of achievements for Halo Campaign Evolved.
Hey, speaking of achievements, the B-52 bomber. B-52 bomber, by the way, was last produced in like 1960 something.
This has to be one of the most impressive pieces of engineering of all time. The fact that it's not only still running and still in active service, which is something we've learned a lot about. I always just associate the B-52 bomber with World War II, but this is apparently a plane that is in active service and is going to be in active service for like hundreds of years or until the heat death of the universe.
Until like 2050. It's currently projected, even though there are no new airframes for this that have been produced since the middle of last century. But no, it wasn't World War II era. It was more Korean War era.
Was it really?
Yeah.
All right. Well, clearly I don't know my planes.
Was last manufactured in 1962, and they're still flying these things today.
Impressive
1952 to 1962. Yeah. So the last one was produced about 15 years before I was born.
So you know, we're already off topic.
That was on purpose. That was to frustrate people. Back to Halo, everybody.
So yes, they released the achievements for Halo Campaign Evolved. And Bernie, this achievement list looks right up your alley, really, specifically because none of these achievements require multiplayer, which we were just talking about.
Yeah, you know what's really up my alley is Toy Story 5 is coming. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry. We'll stay on Halo. Yeah, so I saw that too, and I saw the list of achievements and had the same thought you did, which is, oh, great, there's no multiplayer. And then I realized there's no multiplayer in the game. So why would there be achievements for multiplayer in a game
Campaign
with no
Evolved. Okay,
multiplayer?
Right. All right, that makes a lot of sense.
Makes a lot of sense if you think about it.
But do you think, looking at this list of achievements here, some of the main ones to note are there is a platinum achievement, and that is basically to get all of the other achievements. And that's going to be a really tough one because one of the achievements is a LASO achievement. Do you think you're going to be able to complete this list?
I am what is known in the achievement world as a completionist. I kind of don't care about achievements in general, but I do care about completing achievements, which is why I'm so focused on the PS5's Platinum Trophy, right? So in any list of achievements, I always go straight to the one that's going to keep me from completing it. And you're right, it would be that one. In fact, there's so many achievements along the way for this that just unlock your ability to get the LASO achievement.
I noticed that. So LASO, I've never played LASO, but as I understand it, LASO to do a LASO run, you have to first unlock all of the skulls, which are then modifiers for the gameplay. And there's
Do you know what the acronym stands for? LASO. LASO.
Let's all suck online.
Incorrect. That is OnlyFans motto. No, it stands for Legendary Difficulty, All Skulls On.
Okay. And
specifically, depending on the version of Halo, there are skulls that modify the difficulty and some that are just like cosmetic goof around shit.
Right. And there's a totally different achievement called Headhunter for collecting all the skulls.
Right.
And so there are some achievements that you'll have to get on the way to unlocking other achievements. And then this it's like compounding difficulty as well, because I was looking at some of the skulls and they're insane.
Right. Yeah, so you got to unlock all the skulls and get that achievement just to even start your LASO run. So it's a couple of passes through the game at least. And then you have to play on legendary difficulty. One of the skulls that you have, it depends, I haven't looked at the actual skulls in Halo Campaign Evolved, But one of the skulls that you get is the inability to use checkpoints. So if you die anywhere on a level, guess what? You're doing that level all over
The
again.
whole level. You have to start the whole level again. There's ones that where just ridiculous ones too, where I saw like if you first of all, enemies will just spam grenades constantly, and then when they die, they'll also drop grenades.
That is catch.
So like
Yes.
the entire battlefield exploding all the time. Ones that will like turn off like target marking.
That's blind. You lose all your HUD elements. Yeah.
And then you have to play with all of these modifiers at the same time on legendary difficulty and still complete the game.
Yep.
I have to be honest with you, that does not sound like my idea of a good time.
I am such a completionist that when I saw the Master Chief Collection, which was the collection of all the games, and there were achievements across all of the different campaigns, there are some that it took people years to get, like for the first person to get. And I just didn't even try that. Like I wasn't worried about achievements in that collection at all because it was like, it would have been a full-time job getting all those achievements.
Or you know, like hire someone, like farm that shit out.
Yeah, we actually did that for Halo 3 was the last time I remember that they had the unlockables that weren't part of the marketplace or behind a paywall or something like that. You could unlock all the armor. And so we needed the different suits of armor for different accounts to be able to make red versus blue. And so we literally went out to the community and got like paid people like for 11 different accounts to like unlock all the achievements and get all the different sets of armor unlocked. And I'm trying to think like what was the hardest achievement I ever got in Halo? Probably, I didn't get it, but the one I tried to get, because I got 100% of the achievements in Halo 3 and that was fantastic. The hardest one there was probably Overkill, or maybe Step and Razor, which was to get 3 sword kills like back to back to back. Which is you just had to wait for the right situation to come up to get that. But then they added in one of the DLCs, they added a perfection achievement, which was to play a game of multiplayer where you get at least 15 kills and you have no deaths. I'm just not that player. I'm never going to get that.
Right. You're just not like there are achievements that you can look at and go, this one is out of my reach.
I might have gotten a perfection medal. I think I did in Halo Infinite during one of it's like the big team battle stuff when you get so many people on screen. And then you're just the asshole sitting in the corner of the map with a sniper rifle. Like,
right. It
notices you.
incentivizes you to kind of play like a dick.
Yeah, it's not necessarily the 15 kills, it's the no deaths, but it's the combination of the two that's really rough. So I never got that in Halo 3. Just I'm not that kind of player.
Is there anyone that you can like call in to co-op with you and like carry you through this stuff? Is that something you can do with Campaign Evolved, is like get all these achievements maybe like with co-op?
I think Campaign Evolved has up to 4 people playing together. I would normally play with Gav, but Gav's default co-op player is Dan. They always play together.
That makes sense.
And then sometimes I would call in Andrew Panton as a ringer for like multiplayer stuff.
You used him as a ringer before. Did was he one of your ringers in Sea of Thieves?
He was no. I played like one game of Sea of Thieves with him, but he was we met him during the Griffball era because he showed up during that and he was enormous. And I used to play, there's an old RTAA where I'm playing Saints Row with somebody and our own team kept killing us, and that was Andrew Panton because I would play with him. But he's also he's a very dedicated video game player, and like if you play with him, you also have to recognize you can't do co-op with him because you'll do like 1 or 2 levels with him, and then you'll wake up the next day to do the next 2 levels,
and he'll have like left you way behind.
He's already unlocked like the LASO achievement, everything like that. Like he's been through everything. So then at that point, you're like asking him to replay stuff. So you can't necessarily always like, I can't at least go to Andrew as like a go-to for my co-op stuff.
Right, because he's just not going to go at your speed.
Yeah, he's also really busy right now.
Well, now he's got this coming up. It's gonna his calendar is getting filled.
He's also always doing some random dopey thing like unlocking or being the best player in the world at like Garfield kart racing or something. It's performance art at a video game level. I love it.
So are you excited about these achievements? Are you gonna go big on the gamer score for this one? Or are you just gonna like take it cash?
LASO's tough. I will try it. The big question I've got is, do I want to play it on PlayStation or do I want to play it on Xbox?
Or Bernie.
I don't think I can bring myself to play it on PlayStation.
Well,
no, really, I don't think I can do it.
You're in the Xbox ecosystem anyway. You've got your gamer score, so there's really no reason for you to play it on the PlayStation if you're not planning on doing LASO and getting the platinum. And there is a platinum achievement on the Xbox for getting all the other achievements, so it's kind of filling that void for you, right?
Yeah, but how does that work? Because I went and looked this up after we talked about it recently. And the way that you show your completed games is you go to your settings and you pull up your list of games that you have achievements in. And the ones where you have all of the achievements, it kind of highlights that game in a different color. Like a little bit like the stripe on which that game appears is slightly darker than the others. It's not quite the same thing.
No, but there is an achievement for Halo Campaign Evolved. It's called Fully Evolved, and the description is complete every achievement or collect every trophy. It's a platinum. It's the platinum trophy, or it's a 50 gamer score achievement that I guess you get by unlocking all the other achievements.
I think they should just, and I've said this about 1 billion times, they should just take the idea of platinum trophies where it's a separate thing. It's not built into the achievement list. Because really what's going to happen is you're going to play the whole game. You're going to get all the achievements except for the last 2, which are the LASO achievement, and then you got all the achievements. It's really the I got the LASO achievement twice is what it's going to be, right?
Yeah, basically, because that's going to be like the big hang up for everyone, right? Is without a platinum achievement, I guess, without the fully evolved achievement, then the LASO achievement would be the equivalent.
Which is the way it also works on PlayStation, because the platinum trophy unlocks when you get that last achievement as well. It's just a separate thing. When you go through the list of games, you will see a platinum trophy as a separate thing.
I mean, I'd be on board even for Xbox, kind of like doing a little bit of like retcon work on the way achievements work in general, and having 0-point achievements for games where you have all the achievements, or like games where you have all the achievements when the game came out or whatever it is. Because that's one of the things too, right?
Yeah.
Is anytime any content gets added or like there's a new season or something, there's more achievements. And then you get to a point where you're not keeping up with that.
That's what a platinum trophy is. It's the retail release. So it's all those.
So if they want to like do a little bit of retcon on achievement work and do 0-point achievements, which I'm totally on board with because they're show off achievements, right? They're trophies. It's not, for any singular accomplishment. I would totally be on board with that. And they did announce that they're doing some reworking on the achievement system. They're adding like new colors and new sound effects and, new like little like shiny little bits on some achievements. I don't think that's actually rolled out yet. That might be maybe some Xbox insiders have it, but it's not fully rolled out publicly yet. So I don't know exactly what that all is going to look like for the end user. But let's just tack on to that. Let's just tack on 0-point achievements where you have all of the other achievements from the retail release of the game.
Yeah.
I'm going to have 100% in Enchanted Arms.
The funny thing is that basically, I don't think
King Kong.
I don't think PlayStation had trophies at all until Xbox came along and introduced the achievement system.
No, that's correct. That's absolutely correct. And that's one way where, you sometimes like being second to the party is of benefit in some way. I think that's where PlayStation saw what Xbox had done and they went, I like that. Let's do that. But I have an idea. Yeah. And then did a refining turn on it, right? And then Xbox was probably like, shit, that was a great idea. But we can't just do that or we'd be copying it. Right now, I'm fine with copying it. Go ahead.
I've been fine with copying for about 10 years now. It's well overdue at this point. Just do it. Especially now, this is like your prime opportunity. There's going to be a platinum trophy on Halo titles, but just on PlayStation 5. Just go ahead and do it now. So you have it's parity, even playing field and all that.
Now's your time.
Now's your time.
Xbox is going through big enough shakeup since the rumor is that they're looking at potentially a lot of studio closures, spin-offs, and or scale downs. I know that they announced, I think they announced both Ninja Theory and Compulsion Games are closing and they're talking to other studios
is
like
that announced?
Double Fine.
Yeah.
I think a couple have been announced. Some others are very worried. So Compulsion is the studio that made South of Midnight. And Ninja Theory, I believe, was confirmed maybe yesterday. And I think Ninja Theory as well. That was a weird one.
That's really sad.
Because they also just announced a new game at the Xbox Showcase.
But they have to do something to correct course, right? They have to do something.
They
right?
do. And unfortunately, it's going to be a bloodbath as they attempt to do so.
And the spinning off and things like that goes to a very high level because one of the things that Microsoft is talking about spinning off is Xbox itself into a completely separate business.
I heard about that. Like they would be potentially operating as a wholly owned subsidiary as opposed to like a department within Microsoft itself, which has some interesting implications. I believe PlayStation operates as a fully owned subsidiary of Sony, which one gives it a lot more like independence and the ability to make a lot of their decisions without then going to like the boss of overall Sony and going, does this work with your, I don't know, plan for TVs? On the other hand, it can introduce some weird stuff like not all Sony headphones work with the PlayStation.
Interesting.
Or you get like issues with like Samsung where they're like, I am not selling you my stuff for your phones.
I've talked about this before. I think one of the biggest misses ever in technology was at the turn of the century, back in like 1999, 2000, Sony had a competing memory card format called the memory stick. And the memory stick only worked in Sony devices. And so if you wanted like a Sony digital camera, some of these things are lost to time. But it was important you had to have a memory stick to do it. The one exception to that whole thing was the Sony PlayStation 2, which was what, like 160 million units? It was fucking everywhere. It was undeniably the dominant console in that cycle. PlayStation 2 was huge, except it didn't take memory sticks. It took the proprietary memory cards. But if every kid who had a PlayStation 2 also had to buy a memory stick, it would have been such a gateway to other Sony electronic products.
Well, it's and that worked out really well. So a lot of people ended up buying a PS2 also because it was, at the time, one of the most affordable DVD players. And it was like a way for people to play DVDs without buying like another dedicated unit. And that's one of the reasons that there were so many PS2s out there. But it ended up working in Sony's favor when they introduced Blu-ray because PlayStation was so dominant, with the Blu-ray player that they managed to win the format war against HD DVD because Blu-ray was more ubiquitous. And I think it also had a lot of advantages. One of the advantages being more people had a Blu-ray player.
It is absolutely credited with winning that format war. And this is a format war that Sony had been through before because they lost it in the 80s because Sony was beta to VHS.
Oh, that was the Betamax tapes?
Yeah, Betamax tapes that was a Sony product. Beta was Sony. And so when VHS came out, I believe it was JVC, they just licensed it to everybody. So everybody could make VHS players. So they lost out on that. When Blu-ray came along and was fighting with HD DVD, even the HD DVD platforms like Xbox didn't have it natively in the console. You had to buy a separate drive.
Buy it and like plug it in, and it was just not enough.
And so Sony had a ton of Blu-ray players that were just already in everyone's house anyway. So why wouldn't you go with Blu-ray? Nobody even remembers HD DVD.
No, that one lost pretty hard.
Yeah, they learned a valuable lesson from it the first time around. But I always wonder, why didn't they put the memory sticks in the PS2?
Maybe because they were a wholly owned subsidiary and they didn't have to.
Well, it was a cost thing too, right? Or profit thing, because they could make so much more money on like an 8 megabyte gamer card versus the memory stick, which probably held 256 megabytes.
You know what I think we need to bring back? I'm just going to propose this, is we need to bring back being able to have your like Xbox profile, or let's throw it in PlayStation profile, whatever, on like a USB stick. It was so great to be able to take like your memory card with your gamer tag on it and plug it into any Xbox and have your profile on there. I would love to be able to do that again. And I say that very specifically because Finn has friends over and they don't know like their Xbox logins and stuff. If I could
just use your password. It's all cloud-based
right
now.
But I'm talking about like, we got the kids, all these kids to deal with. And like if they could just like bring over their gamer tag and like plug them in the Xbox and have everything work, that would be so awesome.
That is something though that would be nice, which is something I had to go through for security reasons, which most people don't, because what you're asking for there is not, can I get your password to your Xbox? It's, hey, can I get your password to your Microsoft account?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Including your OneDrive, your desktop, for some people who put all their stuff on OneDrive. It's like, you don't want that tied to your Xbox.
Of course not.
That'd be another advantage for spinning it off too, right?
Right. So they might be able to like divorce themselves from that a little.
Another thing, which has to have come up in conversations with both Sony and Xbox, which is if you spin these things off, these massive brands with a lot of dedicated users, if you spin them off as their own companies, what if Xbox went public? Not Microsoft, but Xbox was a publicly traded company. I would think that after the whole like GameStop run up and all the talk about the GameStop stock, that had to be a discussion in both Sony and Xbox. Like, are we maximizing our investment return on this?
Right. Or like what are the possibilities of this? But if you're a big traditional company as well, watching the GameStop meme stalking, it's got to be
one more time on that.
Did I nail that? The GameStop meme stalking? Like you're watching all that happening going, well, this doesn't make any sense. This is not underpinned by like logic. It's not underpinned by performance. This is basically just like people having a good time. Are we sure we want to base our company's market cap on that?
True, but they're different companies. Also, one's a Japanese company. And I think it's fair to say that PlayStation is probably a bigger overall part of Sony than Xbox is of Microsoft.
I agree. In fact, I think PlayStation is if not the only, then one of the few parts of Sony that is like a profitable arm of the business.
I mean, they make electronic products, they make movies, they make a lot of different stuff, but I feel like PlayStation is a very big part of Sony, at least relatively much bigger than Xbox is to Microsoft.
Well, and that's actually potentially one of the dangers of spinning something like Xbox off, right? Is if they spin it off to a wholly owned subsidiary and it doesn't make money, they can shut it down easily, right?
They could shut it down internally. Much easier.
That's true.
Right? Can't they? I mean,
or they could sell it off or something like who's going to buy it? Is SpaceX buying Xbox? Like who's like submarine companies because they just really want the controller tech? Could they sell Xbox to someone else then? Is it easier if it's a wholly owned subsidiary to just sell it off to someone?
It is a difficult thing to do that. It's really easy for people who talk about video games say like, we'll just spin it off and make its own company. That's enormous. Just think about the employees alone, benefits, everything, all the contracts.
Like, that then have to go become employees of another company. And then, your benefits have to move over, your contracts have to move over, your retirement has to move over.
That's just that aspect of it. You know, it's a massive move. So, but what's the benefit of it versus having it in-house? So there must be a reason to do something like that. Must be something. Yeah.
And once again, that's the rumor. There's nothing confirmed that they're doing that or anything like that. It's been discussed.
It's just so much speculation about everything all the time. Like even the exclusivity stuff. Halo might be the last game that goes to the PlayStation platform, Could be. It might be. Like they've already pulled back the Gears of War prequel.
I think they have guarantees that Call of Duty will continue to remain multi-platform.
Did you see the Gears of War prequel? Did you see the gameplay for it?
No.
It's E-Day, which I believe is Emergence Day. I'm not a Gears of War fan. Not big into the lore there, but I think it's when, the locusts come out of the earth, which is where they come from. They come from underground. And then they're all fighting in the streets, but it's all the characters from Gears of War. But they're like not, it's the first day, so there's no like Gears of War, the organization,
They're just people who managed to stay alive during this whole thing. So do they look like they've been like aged down with Hollywood filters or something? They're all missing all their scars and stuff.
They're in work clothes.
Yeah, I was gonna
say like street clothes.
They're like young. They got baseball hats on. They're like, what's all this?
They're wearing like a high-vis vest or something like that. You know what I mean?
Before they go through their curb stomping training.
Right, and they get all like kitted out with the armor and the chainsaw guns and everything else. They're just dudes on the street. I kind of like that.
I do like that where it's like pulling it back and it's going to make it very raw, right? And but at the same time, it's like a prequel to movies and things where it's like where it's got to end up. So there's a limit to the surprises that you can throw.
I would love to find out too. Like Marcus was like a history teacher or something. That would be great.
Actually, here's the thing. He taught shop, and that's how he learned to make all the weapons.
Exactly.
He was already very proficient with the chainsaw.
Amazingly, all these guys are still like in tremendous shape and roided out and everything else. So.
They were born that way.
Yeah. Hey, but we did mention briefly Supergirl. So there's news about Supergirl now. The speculation is that Supergirl is going to open in second place. How can they already predict this stuff?
Yeah, well, okay. So what it has to do with it's a combination of two things. It's box office projections for Supergirl and where they have that opening. And they have that opening with like a $45 to $55 million domestic box office weekend, right? And when it opens, that's end of the month. That's June 26th that Supergirl is opening. And the reason that they're now predicting that it's not going to hit number one on its own opening weekend is because Toy Story 5 is coming out the week before. And that one is, I think the expectations on that one are going up, if anything. They're expecting that to do Here we go. It's tracking for a massive debut around $160 million, potentially as high as $185 million. So then they do the math and they say, even if Toy Story 5 falls 65% on its second weekend, which it probably won't because the reviews are really good. It's got like a 93% on the tomato meter. So it's summer and it's a family movie, and Burnie, with your hand up.
I gotta say, in no way was I looking for a Toy Story 5. I didn't want a Toy Story 4, and I thought that one was kind of weird. I definitely did not want a Toy Story 5 until I saw what this one is about. Somehow, with these animated movies that take like 4 years to make, they have made it very current. It's all about like screen time with kids and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Dude, I think just the topic alone is going to get people in the theaters.
I have heard, based on some of the reviews, just like reading the blurbs from the reviews, is that this one could potentially make the parents a bit uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because it's very much about like handing your kid the screen and then going like, all right, you're good. And how easy that is to do for parents. And I will admit, absolutely have done it, being like, I just need to clean the kitchen, so give me like 5 minutes.
Right.
And it's very easy to do. And then once it's been an easy solution one time, it gets easier and easier.
Right. You're like, here, watch Blippi for 5 minutes. You come back and like, how are you on 4chan? What happened?
Wait, you're a moderator?
You gotta be really careful with it. But it's like, I think everyone's seen it too. Like when you're in public and there's just like a kid wanting to talk to a parent and they just hand them their phone, or hand them a screen.
Yeah, right. Or like the kids acting up in the restaurant, or the kids not acting up in the restaurant because they're all on screens and completely unresponsive.
Yeah.
And so it's like it's very easy to see how it happens, and this could be potentially a slightly uncomfortable entry in the Toy Story series for parents who've all run into that.
Super important conversation, for sure.
But even if Toy Story 5 sucked a whole bunch, it would have to fall more than 65% from its opening weekend to its second weekend for Supergirl, based on the current projections, to have a chance at number one on its own opening weekend.
We don't know. What if Supergirl gets the Obsession bump this year? Like, Obsession is ramping down, and all the Gen Zers and the teenage girls want to go see Supergirl, right?
I mean,
you never know. I mean, they could be going back to the movies. It was a great experience going to see the movies earlier in the summer. Maybe no. Maybe it could get the bump.
It could. And the thing is, if it gets really good, like, word of mouth coming out of its opening weekend, it could have one of those runs where the good word of mouth means it has slower drop off, longer legs. In that case, even if it doesn't have a stellar opening weekend, it could still have a solid run.
Right.
It's just that where it starts is not currently looking super, super strong.
I also just think there's some movies that pre-orders aren't necessarily indicative of the movie itself, right? There's some movies I would pre-order tickets to go see, like Nolan on IMAX, that kind of thing. Maybe even Toy Story, because I got to arrange time with the kids. I don't know that I would do that for Supergirl,
I agree with you. There's I have my decision about how early I buy tickets for things is wildly inconsistent. But I think like the people doing box office projections, like, they do this all the time. They are working with the number of variables I can't even comprehend. And they usually seem to get things, even if they're slightly outside their range, they found it's still ballpark.
Yeah.
Right. So this is going to be an interesting one. This puts it in line with where the marbles opened.
All right, Ashley. Well, who is joining our LASO quest via co-op today?
I want to say a big thank you to Jeremy M. and Brandon Prevost for carrying us hard on that achievement. And thank you for sponsoring this episode of our show at patreon.com/morningsummer and roosterteeth.com.
All right, that does it for us today, June 17th, 2026. We will be back. Talk to you tomorrow. We hope you will be here as well.
Bye, everybody.